If you struggling right now, then God wants you to watch this video. Now I need you to understand something. A struggle is a struggle, right? Drop that down below in the comments, family. A struggle is a struggle. And what I mean by that is, you can be struggling spiritually, you can be struggling financially, you can be struggling emotionally, or you can be struggling physically, right? Mentally. And so what I want y'all to understand is, just because this person have a different struggle than you, or maybe you have a different struggle, to them or from them, does not mean that either one is less significant, okay? Again, y'all, a struggle is a struggle. I'm going to cut straight into it. You know what my struggle is? My struggle is battling with the old me and the new me. Let me break that down for you. So I'm very aware that I am more polished, right? Some of y'all may say, Reno, you ain't really polished, or Reno, you just regular to me, right? Some of y'all may be able to tell, especially for those who was watching my videos, 2 years ago. Y'all can tell, maybe my articulation got a little better, or I'm using different words, vocabulary, whatever the case is. But my old self, I felt was more down to earth. I'm being honest with y'all. My old self was more understanding. My old self was, I allowed more things to flow and go. My old self, looked over more things. My old self gave more people more chances. But then I come to realization, here's the struggle. I come to the realization that, man, you ain't wrong for growing, right? Somebody dropped it down below in the comments. You're not wrong for growing. I realized that I'm not wrong for growing, but here's the struggle, family. I feel like I am. And that is whether it's with family, friends, even with y'all, my social media family. One of the hardest things for me to do is to realize when to cut it off or cut it on. It's almost like a person who is business all day, right? They're shaking hands all day. They're dressed up all day, uptight all day. Everything is just business, 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 buy, buy, buy my business, right? And there's nothing wrong with being a businessman or a businesswoman. Let me make that clear. However, y'all, that can be a struggle for certain individuals. And I have other struggles. And y'all can drop down below in the comments what y'all struggle is. But I'm letting y'all know that I still don't have it all figured out. And, y'all, God came to me, he said, Reno, humble yourself, right? He said, Reno, humble yourself. And it led me to come by this pond. As y'all can see, I'm right here with the waterfall. I got my scooter in the back. Yes, y'all, I have a scooter right here. It gets me from point A to point B a lot quicker. Right here with the tree. I'm literally in nature, like straight nature, because God told me to humble myself. No chains, my regular camouflage hat. I'm going to keep my hat on, and just be you, bro. Be you. And so, family, if you haven't, you can drop your struggle down below in the comments, right? You can say, I'm getting through it currently. Whatever, floats your boat, y'all. But this video right here is for anybody who's going through a struggle. Now, first thing I want y'all to understand is, once you realize your struggle, you got to tell yourself that it's not over, right? Drop that down below in the comments, family. It's not over. And see, it's very difficult to see that things are not over when you're going through it. When your relationship is rocky, when the marriage is rocky, when your kids are going left and you raise them to go right, when family is turning their backs on you, when the job is trying to lay you off, or the job is cutting your hours. I mean, this stuff get deep, y'all. It's a struggle. And we all have struggles, including me. But you still got to tell yourself it's not over. Anybody ever ran track? Y'all can drop that down below in the comments. But if you ran track, you know that you got the 10x1, long jump, 4x1, 200, I mean, the list goes on, right? However, y'all, one of my favorite, for life reasons, I don't really like running, this particular race in track, but I would definitely say this. In life, I love to compare it to life. The hurdle, okay? The hurdle. So what happens is, in the hurdle, y'all, you got to keep jumping over, keep jumping over, keep jumping over, keep jumping over, right? And so as you begin to run this race that we call life, you got to look at it like hurdles. You jump over one, you got to jump over the next one. You got to jump over the next one. You got to jump over the next one. Why? Because it's not over. And once you get to that finish line, you realize why the importance of continuously running. You understand the importance of putting in your mind that it's not over. You understand the importance of keeping on, right? Jumping, leaping. Why? Because it's not over. That's why I say anybody who's going through a struggle currently, it's not over. That addiction that you're battling, that addiction that you're fighting is not over. Don't think that you have to become susceptible to alcohol. Don't think that you have to become susceptible to smoking weed. Don't think that you got to become susceptible to whatever it is that you have going on, family. We gonna get through this. It's not over. And that's something that I tell myself. It's not over. Like, no matter how much I feel I've come far, I've elevated, or whatever the case is, I still tell myself it's not over. I was listening to a motivational speaker, right? Ironically, and he was basically saying that once you get to the top of the mountain, look up and you're going to see that there's another mountain. And I thought that was so deep. Look up and you're going to see that there's another mountain, which means you remember how hard it was for you to climb, right? You remember how hard it was for you to get up that rock. You remember how hard it was. You was tired. Your hands started getting tired. Legs started shaking and trembling. And then you finally get up there just to realize it's a whole nother mountain waiting on you. And that's something that stuck with me, y'all. But another clear indication that it is not over. All right? Drop that down below in the comments once again, family. The next thing I want you to realize when it comes to if anybody is struggling, if you're struggling, stop the comparisons, y'all. Stop the comparisons. And that's something that I'm currently working on, right? See, many people are not going to be 100% honest about the situation, right? And just being frank with y'all, y'all can hear, I'm really out here in nature, y'all. Wind blowing, ducks are floating. They out here, y'all. But I wanted to stay in nature with it, family. It just keep me so connected and it keep me grounded and humble. But stop the comparisons, y'all. And that's something that I still work on to this day. Okay? Let me just tell y'all, many content creators probably won't tell you, but we all look at one another's videos and we all look at one another's numbers and we all look at thumbnails. We pay attention to titles. We all do. They're going to lie to you and say, oh, I'm just being different. No, you're not. We all are talking about the same thing. It is about who's going to pick up, who the algorithm is going to pick up first, or who the algorithm is going to realize first, okay? And as the people begin to watch, the algorithm is going to feed those people that particular content creators content. Now, understand this, y'all. Yes, you want to be different, okay? You want to be unique. You do want to stand out. But ultimately, you're going to pay attention, especially to those who are within your niche. That's just point blank period. I'll be lying to y'all if I didn't tell y'all I'm not comparing myself to certain content creators. I'll be lying to y'all if I didn't tell y'all that, you can feel a sense of anxiety. You can feel a sense of, not really having. You can feel a sense of losing. Like, oh, man, I got the next video. But I had to tell myself, bro, comparisons is the thief of all happiness. Stop the comparison, right? Stop the comparison. Sometimes you got to talk to yourself, y'all. I talk to myself all the time. I have full-blown conversations. You'll probably think I'm crazy if you see me do it in real life. But the reality, y'all, is You gotta stop the comparison. You know, y'all, I used to look on Instagram and I see this dude got $15,000. This dude got $30,000. And I'm talking about for the month. Not, you know, oh man, this is what I made and saved up for 2 years or 1 year or even 6 months. No, 30,000 for the month. And then you may see somebody else with 100,000 in a month. And you like, yo, hold on, what are y'all doing? You figure out we doing the same thing. I got digital products, you got digital products. Where am I going wrong? And you'll start comparing yourself and you'll become susceptible to what they're doing. And you'll realize that I'm not even being me. That's a struggle. That's a struggle that many people don't talk about. The women who feel like they are at their lowest because they are not married, they don't have kids yet, they don't have the right husband, or they don't have a husband, you know, and they feel like they are at their lowest. They feel like don't nobody understand them. They feel like their clock is ticking. And then you see somebody on social media who been with her boyfriend for 6 months and then he get on the knee and propose. But you done been with your dude or your boyfriend or your fiance for 5 years or 6 years. You like, hold on, what's going on? Right? My message to you, sweetheart, is stop the comparison. Don't pay attention to what she's doing. Don't watch who she's dating. Don't watch the fact that she's getting a new bag every week. Because I guarantee you it comes with a price. To whom much is given, much is always required. Trust me and believe. To whom much is given, much is always required. I'm just being honest, y'all. But it's something that I recommend, right? I'm not speaking down. I'm not speaking to. I'm really speaking with you. And I want you to understand something. One thing that helps me out and works with me is to stop the comparison. Like, stop worrying about who did 1 million views, who did 100,000. Oh, who's making this amount of money? Worry about your race, because I guarantee you, you're doing better than somebody. And that's not a flex, but that's just God's way of letting you know to be humble and be appreciative of where you are. Somebody drop in the comments and say, realize where you are. See, I seen a post, y'all, where there was a kid who was in a wheelchair and said, man, I wish I can ride a bike, right? And then it was a person on a bike or a kid on a bike saying, I wish I had a car, okay? And then the person inside of a car said, I wish I had a better car. And then the person in a better car was like, I wish I had a plane. Family, this is what happens when you are comparing yourself to many people. And that's just something that I feel like humanity battle and struggle with. I feel like that's something that humanity battle and struggle with. I'm just being honest, right? But that's just one thing that you can, you know, utilize when it comes to going through your struggle, y'all. And we all have them, guaranteed, right? You may be struggling with your job, you know, struggling with the fact that they pay you minimum wage. Trust me, y'all, I understand. It's a struggle. Next thing, y'all, and this right here is very important. Give it all to God, y'all. Give it all to God. Like, we got to stop carrying burdens that are giving us diseases, cancer, heartache, stress, rotting our bones. Give it all to God. I don't care if it's family members who you just, you see the BS that they are on. You see the negativity that they carry. You see what they are doing. Like, you see it eye to eye. You're watching it. Let it go. Give it all to God. Give it all to God. You're telling yourself, Reno, I am not where I think or feel I should be at. Give it all to God. Stop carrying that burden. Stop carrying that burden of that rape. Stop carrying that burden of that stress. Stop carrying that burden of that family member. Stop carrying that burden of that toxic person, place, or thing in your life. Stop carrying that burden. Give it all to God, man. Somebody drop down below in the comments and say, give it to God, right? Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, give it to God. But the reason why I say give it to God is because You're going to feel a sense of release and peace, right? When you give it to God, I guarantee you, you're going to feel a sense of release and peace. That's what you want, y'all. You want that spirit of release, right? And you want that peace. Once you gain that, then you're able to walk a lot lighter, right? How many of y'all got nieces and nephews or even children? I know with me, I have my niece, and so I got 2 nieces actually. And so I pick them up on my back, I throw them up, I run around with them. But one thing about it, they get heavy, you know, and that's how it is with that burden. You may be running with that burden because you're strong. That's one thing about God's people too. God's people are able to have a smile on their face, carry burdens, go through the worst. People treat them wrong, persecute them. People lied on them, slandered them, you know, spreading rumors. And they still walk into the building like, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? Y'all good. That person probably just got done crying. I done been there, crying in my car because I can't pay my rent. If you struggling, the best thing that you can do is give it all to God. Sincerely. Give it all to God, y'all. Next thing I do want to say is, and this worked for me, but imagine your future. Right? Some people would say, why would you want to imagine something that you don't have? I know it's a crazy way of thinking. And honestly, I'm not even going to judge them, y'all, because it's not about judging people. Who cannot judge? Only God can judge us, right? But me personally, I think that you should imagine your future. So if you are a woman who's not married right now, but you want to be married, you don't have kids, but you want kids, I sincerely feel like you should imagine your future. I feel like you should imagine the life you want to live, the house you want to have, the type of husband you want. Same thing for my brothers. Like, bro, if you want to be successful, man, if you want to live the life of luxury, you know, of course, y'all included with God, right? Because, you know, you want to chase that bag, but chase God too. Because success without God ain't nothing. Okay, I'm going to say that once again, y'all. Success without God ain't nothing. But back to my brothers, like, if you want to live a certain life, bro, I would definitely say imagine your future. Imagine your wife. Like, just real life, sit down, close your eyes, and just look. Just look. Imagine. Somebody drop in the comments and say imagine. Imagine if your life went from being in that 1-bedroom apartment to that mansion. Imagine if you went from being single to in a full-blown marriage with kids. Imagine if that business that you're working on right now don't got nobody, you know, supporting it. Imagine that now you got a big business that's bigger than Amazon. Imagine the power of your mind. The power of vision, the power of conviction that you have will bring it all into fruition. And the times of when you are struggling the most is when you should believe the most. Everybody can believe when, you know, God is giving them what they want, right? Anybody can believe. I can believe when everything was okay, but could I believe when I couldn't pay my rent? It was difficult too. Could I believe when I was homeless? Could I believe when I was going through a divorce? Could I believe when, you know, me and my best friend, I'm talking about the guy who I looked at as a brother, we parted ways. Could I believe then? Could I believe when I didn't really have my father in my life? Could I believe? And it's very difficult. It's very difficult. But you still got to believe. And that's something that many people are not willing to do. So sticking to it, y'all, imagine your future. Next thing I want to say, y'all, it's probably going to be the last thing, is reinvent yourself. I think that reinventing yourself is really, really good. I think that reinventing yourself is what a lot of people done who have became even more successful. And so I'll break that down for you. I'm going to take it back to an artist, right? So Let's just say you have an artist who was in the game, gospel artist, hip hop, whatever the case is. But let's just say how they were in the beginning is not who they're gonna be in the end, right? Like I know a lot of ladies love Fantasia. Fantasia, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Like she was on that, right? Like she was go ahead and free yourself. I'm talking about family. Fantasia was going through that hurt. Mary J. Blige, right? Now Mary J. Blige still sell that type of music, but Fantasia, she making happier songs. She making happier music, right? She has reinvented herself. If you want the old me, buy my old album. If you want the old me, watch my old videos. If you want the old me, then get the old tape. But don't stunt my growth and don't try to stop me from reinventing myself. See, the reason why I say if you're struggling, one thing you want to do is reinvent yourself. Stop thinking the way that you used to think, right? Stop moving the way that you used to move. Stop doing the things that you used to do. Reinvent yourself. If you didn't wear hats, start wearing hats. If you didn't wear suits, start wearing suits. Still be yourself, but reinvent yourself to where when a person see you and revisit you, they got to understand how to treat you. You follow what I'm saying, y'all? Understand the power of reinvention, okay? When you think about any type of product that has been made from the iPhone, from an Android, from a computer, a Mac, whatever, they are consistently reinventing those products. You follow what I'm saying, y'all? So you want to always reinvent yourself because it helps modify you. If y'all pay attention to my newer videos, I'm trying every day to reinvent myself. And sometimes, y'all, it's going to be successful immediately. And then sometimes it may take time. But guess what? Anything that's worth having takes time. Reinvent yourself. Somebody drop in the comments and say the power of reinvention. All right? The power of reinvention, y'all. Reinvent who you are. Reinvent what you look like. Reinvent what you smell like. Start wearing new perfume. Different colognes. Reinvent what you watch. Reinvent yourself. All right? But listen, y'all, I told y'all, there's a lot of fake things on this internet. A lot of fake people on this internet. But one thing that you're not going to get from this video is fake info. I really mean when I say if you're struggling, God wants you to watch this. Because a struggle does not differ no matter how different it is. It's still a struggle, okay? But with that being said, y'all, I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. For those who are looking to, build up their social media platform, become a self-published author, and start their online business pretty much, y'all make sure y'all enroll into my social influence course, okay? It's only $249. But like I said, family, if you want it, you can get it. If not, I'm glad that I was able to get your time to let you know that if you are struggling right now, God wants you to watch this video. Y'all keep a rich mentality. Peace.